For the first time on this channel, we'll be moving on to the Perry State as we move on to the magnificent mile and a half located in Joliet, Illinois. After 6 long years, Chicagoland Speedway is finally back in action here as we're about to have some racing at Chicagoland Speedway for the Jegs 200 here for the 5th race of the Nascar Dewalt Truck Series. We saw a wild race last time at Bermuda Triangle Super Speedway at the British Overseas Territories where Stewart Friesen got a late race victory, adding his name into the early championship hunt battle. While he had a great day, there was a lot of big namers that also had a very bad day at Bermuda Triangle, and so today they're going to have an opportunity to try to regain all those points back to get them back into the championship hunt. As we move on to Chicagoland Speedway, this is the first time that we're going to be ever racing here on this channel, and it's going to be the very first time that these drivers will be racing here at Chicagoland Speedway here ever on this channel. There is the grid currently out there on the field on the back straightaway, and before we actually get started and take a look at your official starting lineup, we do actually have some driver changes that we must go through first. And one of those driver changes tonight will be the A truck of Jay Taylor's, as he will be out for the remainder of the season due to an injury. Jay Taylor suffered a cerebral contusion after a massive accident on lap 23 of the Forever Rowdy 380 at Bermuda Triangle, where afterwards he was placed in a mentally induced coma for 2 weeks before finally being discharged from the hospital earlier this week, yesterday morning. But he will be out for the remainder of the season as he recovers from his injuries. So Sammy Smith will be behind the wheel of the number 8 truck throughout the remainder of the season, starting today here at Chicagoland Speedway. And of course, this will take the number 8 truck out of the championship hunt here today, as that 8 truck is no longer eligible to participate to win a title here in the DeWalt Truck Series tonight. And also out of today's event will be the 37 of Ashley Caboose from Nighthawk Motorsports. Caboose decided to withdraw from this event earlier this week, not due to an injury, but rather due to a severe personal matter that she is still currently enduring at this time. So Shailene Hossetta will be behind the wheel of the 37 truck as Ashley Caboose deals with this personal matter at this time. We do not have any information about whether that may be, but we do send out our best regards toward Ashley Caboose at this time as she tries to get her mental health back into shape. We do hope to see her back on the track very, very soon. So as those 2 drivers are out for tonight's event, everybody else will still race here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. Now, without any further ado, let's go ahead and meet the starting lineup and see where your favorite drivers will be starting at here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. For the second time this year, we see the 98 of Ty Majeski on pole here for tonight's race, but for the first time this season, we've seen Toy LaJoy on the front row, starting second. This is definitely going to be a much-needed start for Toy LaJoy, as he is currently struggling right now in the points. Tim Simmons right now on a very hot streak with 3 top 5 finishes in the previous 4 races, looking to try to continue that here in Chicagoland. He starts third, with Luke Fenhouse finally having a good qualifying result, starting 4th on the outside of row number 2. Reese McFarland rounds up the top 5 in a very special paint scheme for Dale Earnhardt, as well as Grant Enfinger and the number 9 starting on the outside of row number 3, as Grant Enfinger is currently 1 point behind our championship points leader, Tim Simmons. 2 drivers currently in the top 10 in points, that being Justin Haley, our Charlotte winner, starting on the inside of row 4, and John Hunter Nemechek in the number 4 truck having a much better start this season, as he is currently 7th in the standings. He starts 8th here tonight in tonight's event. Right at the top 10, of course, we see Sammy Smith in the 8 truck taking over for the injured Jay Taylor's for the remainder of the season, as he does start 9th here today in his first start in the DeWalt Truck Series. And then Stewart Friesen, our previous race winner at Bermuda Triangle, looking to try to go back-to-back. He rounds up the top 10, starting 10th on the outside of row 5. Tyler Ankrum is going to start 11th on the inside of row 6, with Giovanni Ruggiero trying to get back on track after having a recent performance dip within these past couple of weeks. He will start 12th on the outside of row 6, starting alongside with Tyler Ankrum. Daytona winner Lane Ritz is starting on the inside of row 7, starting 13th. And new NASCAR Cup Series race winner Corey Heim in the number 11 truck, trying to get his second victory here of the season as he starts 14th on the outside of row 7. Ben Rhodes rounds out the top 15 on the inside of row 8, with Jake Garcia, former point leader, will start on the outside of row 8, starting 16th in the number 13 truck. And then Caden Honeycutt in the number 45, still not a great result, but will start 17th here on the inside of row 9. And Matt Crafton in the 88, trying to get his struggling season back on track, starting 18th in tonight's event. And then you see the 38 of Chandler Smith starting in 19th, and right at the top 20, Shailene Hossetta taking over for Ashley Caboose in the 37 on the outside of row number 10. Still looking for his first top 10 finish will be the 71 of Rajah Karuf as he starts 21st on the inside of row 11. And Andres Perez this time will not start below the top 30 as he will start 22nd in tonight's event on the outside of row 11. Pretty shocking to see Daniel Hemrick all the way back to the 23rd place position near Pat as he starts on the inside of row 12, and Riley Herbst in the 36th on the outside of row 12, starting 24th. Row 13 on the inside, starting 25th, will be the 81 of Connor Mozak, and then the 26th starting position will be the 12 of Brandon Queen for College Racing. New faces in row 14 as Bubba Wallace, a winner from Richmond, will be making a start here in Chicagoland Speedway, with Brent Holmes in the 32, bringing Brent Holmes Racing back from the dead with one more race here as they both start in row 14. Tough race for both Matt DiBenedetto and Brandon Jones as they both start in row 15. Matt DiBenedetto starting 29th and Brandon Jones starting 30th. A lot of work to do if they want to get back up to the front and later on in tonight's event. Near the back of the pack, we see the 75 of Parker Kligerman not having a great start to the season so far, with the 76 of Spencer Boyd starting 32nd on the outside of row 16. And yikes, Tanner Gray going to be starting all the way back in the 33rd place position. Not a great qualifying effort for Tanner, as the 42 of Matt Mills got a top 5 in Bermuda Triangle 2 weeks ago, but will start in 34th here in tonight's event, so tough race for Matt Mills in the 42 as well as Tanner Gray. And set it to last row in row 18, Sage Karam is going to make his debut in the Nascar Dewalt Truck Series today, with the 33 of Frankie Muniz still once again struggling. Not a great start for Frankie Muniz at all, as he will start on the outside of row 18. And finally, rounding out the field, Dawson Sutton all the way back in row 19 once again with the 5 truck of Tony Breininger starting 38th, and that is your field for tonight's event. And this week there was no DNQs that took place here. All 3 of the drivers that were open team cars were able to make it in on time. There was nobody else, so all the drivers have made the field here today. So nobody goes home here today as we welcome you to the broadcast booth. My name is James Simmons. I'm with Tim James and Timothy Jameson like always. Guys, we saw a wild race of Bermuda Triangle 2 weeks ago. We're going into a brand new track we never gone to on this channel before. There's a lot of uncertainty coming in here because we're not sure exactly what today is going to bring us tonight.
Yes, they're going to be interesting for sure. With the past 2.5 mile tracks that we went to have been crazy from the start to finish. And this is another 1.5 mile track. I think it's going to be the same chaos that we saw throughout those 2 races, and of course from Bermuda Triangle 2 weeks ago. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm super excited. We've never been to Chicagoland Speedway before, so I'm definitely looking forward to what this race is going to provide us tonight.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. You know, we haven't been to Chicagoland at all in this channel, like you mentioned, and we haven't been to Chicagoland at all IRL, but we've been to Chicagoland a lot in these NR League races, and they've all been pretty crazy, so I would expect to at least be hopefully not too crazy like what we saw 2 weeks ago in the previous 1.5 mile races that we've been to so far at Charlotte and Kansas. But of course, since we're moving on into a brand new racetrack, somewhere we've never been to before, it's definitely going to be a little challenging for these drivers because they never raced here before. But I'm still super stoked about what we're going to be seeing tonight, guys. Definitely going to be a wild race for sure. We're going to be racing 54 laps once again here at Chicagoland Speedway as we're about to race on a Friday night here at Joliet, Illinois for the 5th race for the Jegs 200. So without any further ado, let's go trackside, get those engines fired to start tonight's event.
Driver, start your engine!
These fans are definitely hyped for these guys making their debut here at the Chicagoland Speedway for the first time on this channel. But not only that, we are racing here under the lights on a Friday evening, which is always so awesome to see these guys race on a Friday night. But of course, who would make everything better to start things off? That would be you, Timothy James. I'm going to let you take it away.
Thanks, James. Yeah, these fans do not want to miss this. This is the first time that we're going to be racing here on Chicagoland Speedway on this channel. And these fans have certainly waited a long time for this, but we're about to get the show on the road. Here they come across the start-finish line.
Let's go racing on a Friday night, boys!
Up to the gears they go, on their way, under the lights in Chicagoland.
Timer Jesse is able to pull away from the lead. Tim Simmons is now up to the 2nd place position. Cletus McFarland is trying to battle Corey LaJoie for the 4th place spot. And I think Grant Enfinger, as we're seeing right here, he is losing a ton of positions. Remember, he started 6th in this race. Now it looks like he's falling all the way to 15th already on just the first lap.
Yeah, something definitely happened to that 9 truck of Grant Enfinger. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't think he got the runoff that he definitely needed at the start. But he's definitely, he's dropped all the way out of the top 10. He's currently listed 15th at the moment. But look at this battle right here. It looks like Matt Crafton is also losing his other positions here. I believe he slightly scraped the wall. He's on the wall again. He's slightly scraping it off. These guys are going way too high off the corner. And this is going to cost Matt Crafton a lot of positions. He's going to drop all the way, I believe, to the back. But it looks like we got a lot of action already out front immediately on just the 3rd lap.
Yeah, already 3 wide right now for 2nd place as Ty Majeski is trying to get past Tim Simmons and Corey LaJoie. We see Justin Haley currently leading at the moment, but Tim Simmons has had an extremely competitive start of the season so far. Out of the last 4 races, he finished in the top 5 3 times. And as you see, Corey LaJoie is also now losing positions. I believe he scraped the wall just a little bit. Now he's fallen all the way, I believe, to maybe 15th or the 18th range.
Yeah, he lost a ton of positions there, but as you can see out front,
4 wide, looks like a little bit temporarily, all the way to the 3rd place position. I don't know how these guys are doing. I don't know exactly what package they're using, but my goodness, this is crazy already. As you see Sammy Smith in the A truck, now he's going to lose a lot of positions as he was way up high coming into turn number 4. And as you see right here, it looks like a battle for the lead is shaping up between the 16 of Justin Haley and the 98 of Ty Majeski. John and Nemechek trying to add his name into the picture. Yeah, of course, Nemechek is trying to have a much better start than he had in the Fast Now Cup Series. Of course, finishing dead last in the points throughout the entire season. And as you can see, it's still having crazy racing on the back here as they are almost 3 abreast coming out of turn number 4. And my heart's already pounding. This is already some crazy racing already.
Oh, truck in a wall. Looks like it's the 34 Lane Ridge. I believe he got way up high, just like a lot of these guys are. We've seen these guys struggling already with the amount of momentum that they've been losing early on in the early run. And Lane Ridge is definitely falling all the way back. Lost so much momentum here, and he's dropping all the way into the back with no drafting help for him whatsoever.
Not a great start for Lane Ridge as he falls all the way to the back of the pack. Meanwhile, though, 3 wide, almost 3 wide for the lead. Justin Haley and John and Nemechek. Oh my gosh. Close call right there.
Oh, yeah, we're spinning in the back. It's the 11 of Corey. He goes back in front of traffic, collects the 8 of Sammy Smith.
Tyler Ankrum caught up. Everybody else is trying to avoid the accident.
Oh, there's another truck spinning in the back.
And another one spins out behind him. Looks like that's the 21 of Sage Karam in his debut in the DeWalt Truck Series. Caution is already out on lap 6 here at Chicagoland. Dude, I saw this coming a mile away. They were not going to make it off at that turn. They were 4 wide exiting out of turn number 4. And I believe the 11 truck probably got clipped by, I think it was Cletus McFarland that started this whole chain reaction.
And look at the damage of the 8 truck of Sammy Smith. Not even 6 laps in, and already he's encountered an issue here. What a way to get your first impression in the DeWalt Truck Series, getting caught up in an earlier incident on lap 6.
There is a lot of damage to that 8 truck of Sammy Smith. There's probably going to be a day, and we're going to take a look back and see what caused this whole chain reaction as they enter in turn number 4.
Well, of course, we saw some crazy action out front up to the lead. You see the 16 getting into the 4. They almost get turned around, but it looks like the 3 truck might have gotten clipped by the 66 of Fenhouse, and that got him into the 11 truck that caused this whole chain reaction. Luckily, I don't know how no other driver was collected in that, as you see the 21 spinning out into the background. Thankfully, no big hits, but that 8 truck, the damage on that is definitely going to be concerning.
Well, one thing I was worried about was right here, when the 16 gets into the 4 right there, as the 16 almost gets turned around, almost starting a chain reaction right there, until this one happens behind him. And I believe from that angle, I believe the 3 might have came up into the 66 of Luke Fenhouse, and that's what started this chain reaction. Looks like the 37 of Lucetta was also a part of that as well. The 97 was avoiding it in the grass. And it looks like the 21 just got hurt by the 15 of Tanner Gray. I'm not sure what that was all about. Not sure if the 15 was trying to get back on track, trying to avoid the accident and just misjudge the timing, but I believe that's probably what have happened between those two. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, right there you see the 3 truck just getting clipped after getting in front of the 66. That's really what caused this whole thing. Got into the 11, causing him to spin out back in front of traffic. Nowhere for a lot of these drivers really to go, especially for the 8 truck of Sammy Smith. And speaking of which, we're about to ride along with him. This is Sammy Smith on board.
You see it right here, the 3 gets in front of the 66, and that's what really caused this whole thing to start. And oh man, that 11 truck just getting spun back in front of traffic, nowhere for the 8 of Sammy Smith to go. That's such a shame, man. That 8 team is already in a tough position, especially after Jay Taylor's got injured at Bermuda Triangle. Definitely not what Sammy Smith wanted to start it out. Well, here's what Tim Simmons saw, and you see right here, he's trying to make the pass right there over the bottom. Of course, that's when the 3 got hurt by the 66, and right here, it looks like he goes into the grass after he slightly got door slammed. I believe it was the 66 of Luke Fenhouse, I believe. Looks like his temporary teammate, Shaylee Nasetta, also got into the grass as well, but both Night Hot Motorsport teammates were able to drive away without any sort of damage.
Here's Cletus' onboard. He was already losing a lot of momentum already in the early running here. And as you can see right here, he gets in front of the 66. He gets hurt, collects the 11 of Corey Heim. He spins back in front of traffic. But somehow, someway, Cletus was able to get that thing rolling and keep it straight and avoided any sort of major damage on that 3 truck. But a wild ride for Cletus McFarland as the caution's already out here for the first time with our first big crash.
And on lap 7, our first incident of the day occurs when Luke Fenhouse and Cletus McFarland got together, collects the 11 of Corey Heim, tangles with the 8 of Sammy Smith. As we work out our first caution of the day here on lap 6, as you see the 21 spinning out by the 15 of Tanner Gray. We'll be right back from Chicagoland Speedway after this quick break. You know, there's been a little rumor going around that, we could be expected to see double file restarts here within these next couple of weeks. We're not going to see that today, but I think we're going to be seeing some double file restarts, if I'm not mistaken, starting at Talladega in 2 weeks. We will get more information when the time comes, but the green flag's back in the air, back up to the theaters they go.
There goes Ty Majesty. Oh, and the 4 truck just completely came down on the 98 and blocked him for second place. That's going to help the 4 truck to potentially get the lead here as he now moves up into the first place position. He now leads here at Chicagoland.
And that's going to drop Justin Haley all the way to the 3rd place position to potentially losing more as Brandon Queen in the 12 truck, his teammate, is now adding his name into the mix here. Here comes the 98 of Ty Majeski now trying to make a move here for the lead. Here comes the 45 of Caden Honeycutt behind him.
3 wide behind him so far right now, and this is for the 6th place position. Grant Anfinger, who lost all of his position, dropped all the way from 6th to 15th in the first lap of the race, has now found himself back up into the mix.
Oh,
and there's another big crash. They're wrecking on the back, the 17 of Giovanni Ruggiero. That's Shaylee Nosell in the 37 truck, and 18 of Tyler Ankrum gets caught up in it, as well as the 15 of Tanner Gray.
Oh, and they're still wrecking. The 11 just pile drove into the 42.
Oh, and more issues in turn 3. The 34 and the 33 just collided, and that 34 looks like he's got major damage. The radiator, I believe, is busted on that thing. Oh, that's going to be a blown motor for the 34. That is going to be big for a Daytona winner, Lane Ridge. But Shaylee Nozzetta caught up in that one, taking over for Ashley Caboose. That is definitely not what the 37 team definitely wanted, as the 15 of Tanner Gray also caught up in this as well.
And this will bring out our second caution of the day for another multi-truck accident on the back straightaway. Tyler Ankrum is involved in this, Corey Heim as well, the winner at Kansas Speedway. And there was a lot of heavy hitters involved in this one. Of course, the 11 truck of Corey Heim, who's currently 4th in the standings. Lane Ridge is currently 8th in the standings. But now there are more damaged trucks as another accident has just taken place, this time on the back straightaway. Here's what happens between Nosetta and Ruggiero coming out of turn number 2.
Yeah, I believe it looks like these guys are just going for the same piece of real estate. The 37 got into the bumper of the 17, which got him sideways. And they both got into the inside wall and they collected a lot more other drivers as well. It was like the 42, of course. The 26 got caught up in it. And you see the 11 come piling in and just pile drove into the 42 of Matt Mills.
But my question is that what happened to the 33 and the 34? Both of those drivers were able to avoid the accident, but I'm not entirely sure where they got their damage from. Well, let's see it right here. You see the 33 and the 34. They see the accident. They were able to avoid it. But the thing is, afterwards, that they made contact.
Oh.
Yes, right there. Oh, and that's a big hit for both the 33 and the 34 as it completely busted the motor of that number 34 truck. And that's probably going to be a day ender for Lane. Damn, man. What a shame.
And of course, imagine about how big this wreck is for a couple of these drivers, including the 11 and the 34. Corey Heim entering in this race 4th in the standings. Lane Ridge entering in this race 8th in the standings. As of course, we don't know the extent about how critical the damage is on both of those drivers, and it's including the 11 of Corey Heim.
And I believe Sage Karam also got a piece of that as well. He was involved in the first incident, including the 11 of Corey Heim. And you can see the 42 just get rear end, got rammed by the 11 of Corey Heim as he was trying to avoid. He spins down into the apron. And meanwhile, up in here somewhere in turn 3, the 34 and the 33 made contact, and that both of them got into the wall. The 42 is able to get it back going again, but there was a lot of damage on the hood of that 42 truck. It was right along with Shaylee Nacetta here, and as you can see right here, she does make contact right there with the 17 of Giovanni Ruggiero, and that got both of them sliding into the wall, and here comes everybody else. There's the contact with Tyler Ankrum, contact right there with Matt Mills, and I think I recall hearing on the radio of the 17, Giovanni Ruggiero is not happy at all with the 37 of Shaylee Nacetta, so definitely temper's already flaring here at Chicagoland Speedway. Is he on board of Giovanni Ruggiero?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a rookie just making a mistake. I know Shaylee Nacetta, this is really her first ever race ever in NR, and that was definitely a rookie mistake made by there. I'm pretty sure she didn't mean to do that on purpose, but oh, and there was a big hit right there by the 34 and the 33. But yeah, I think that's just a mistake made by a rookie. Well, not quite sure if Giovanni Ruggiero feels the same way, as we now ride along with the 18 of Tyler Ankrum. The accident happens right in front of him, and there was just really no place to go for the 18, as there was a lot of smoke, and everybody was avoiding the wreck all around him, so there was really nowhere to go for Tyler Ankrum in the 18 truck. But yeah, there was a lot of damage to that 18, as it looks like he's got a blown motor. Here it is from Lane Ridge. Obviously, he avoids the accident right here, and while he was trying to get past the number 33 for position and the 5 truck, he was trying to get back up on track, but didn't notice that the 33 was still on the inside, and that's a hard hit by the 33 and the 34. And this is definitely going to be huge for the 34 and the 11 if they are not able to continue here, as they were involved in another accident here on the back straightaway for a second caution of the day on lap 12, where Shaylee Nacetta gets into the back of Giovanni Ruggiero, collecting Tyler Ankrum, Tanner Gray, Matt Mills, and Dawson Sutton. And we're going to take another quick break here as they sort things out here on the second caution, and we will find out any updates regarding about the 11 and the 34, see if they are able to continue here today. But there's definitely going to be a lot of drivers that have their race cut short here today after this accident. We'll be right back here at Chicagoland Speedway for the Jegs 200.
Time Majesty's going to lead us down to the restart coming into lap 17. Caden Honeycutt is right behind him in second, with Brandon Queen in a third place position, Van Rhodes fourth, and Luke Fenhouse rounding up the top 5, with John and Nemec at 6 and point leader Tim Simmons in 7th. Green flag back in the air, restarting on lap 17. Not really able to pull away from the 45 of Caden Honeycutt at the moment, as he is still currently on the back bumper of the 98. But looks like there's a little bit of action here as Luke Fenhouse is trying to make his way up into the 4th place position, as he's going to try to get past the 12 truck of Brandon Queen. And of course, as we restarted on lap 17, we are coming across lap number 18, and once that happens, we're going to go silent in honor of memory of Kyle Busch. Here we come out of turn number 4. We're about to start lap number 18 here, and as we do that, we go silent in honor of the memory of Kyle Busch. Well, you see Luke Fenhouse trying to close in on his teammate Ty Majeski in the number 98. Cletus McFarland now moving over to the 3rd place position, with Tim Simmons trying to battle alongside of him.
And Simmons is getting pushed by the 4 truck of John and Nemec, who's now trying to make it 3 wide, and this is going to be for the 3rd place position. Grant Infinger now looks like he's trying to take a peek to try to make it 4 wide for 3rd.
Turn 4 has definitely been a trouble spot for a lot of these drivers, but they're able to at least maintain it as they slowly go back down the 2 different lanes, as now Grant Infinger is now looking to try to take 3rd away from John Hunter Nemec after coming back from starting from 6th all the way to 15th, 3 wide once again. Ben Rhodes is trying to make it 4 wide.
Tim Simmons, not a lot of drafting help up top, as he is stuck 3 wide up top, now almost 4 wide up on the top side.
And Tim Simmons, obviously, he is the current points leader as of right now because of the amount of top 5s that he is having so far. 3 top 5 wins in the last 4 races is very impressive with Tim Simmons, obviously with the best finish at 2nd at Kansas. He got 4th at Daytona, 2nd at Kansas, and he got a 3rd place finish at Bermuda Triangle. He's looking to try to get another one, as right now currently 3 wide for the lead right here. Here comes Luke Fenhaus in the 66, 16 of Justin Haley trying to gain his way up to the top. It's just impressive racing here, and as you can see right there on the corner of your screen, we are approaching against lap traffic. This could play a toll for a good majority of these leaders, because some drivers will be able to get through it cleanly, some drivers cannot. Well, let's see how it plays out, as Frankie Muniz is the one they're catching up to, and he blocks Luke Fenhaus a little bit. That's going to help out the 4 and the 98 to get in front of them, as this is going to really jam out a good majority of these leaders. Justin Haley, Matt Crafton, Ben Rose was able to get by nearly 4 wide as they're trying to get past the lap traffic truck.
And that is a good majority of leaders here with the 77 Corey LaJoy, the 3 of Cletus McFarland, the 19 of Daniel Hemrick. But right now, currently, it's the 4 and the 98 battling along with the lead. Ty Majeski looking to try to take it right back, but Jonathan Nemechek is not done with him quite yet. How about Jonathan Nemechek, man? He's just had a horrible season in the Fast Cup Series. Has had a great start so far this season. Currently 7th in the standings right now. Currently finds himself 2nd in this race, right behind the 98 of Ty Majeski, as a little bit of action's taking place for 3rd place currently. Looks like it's the 66 and the 99 teammates over there at Thor Sport Racing trying to battle along with position.
66 is able to pull through for the 99 of Ben Rhodes, but meanwhile 3 wide currently behind him, and this is for the 6th place position between Brandon Finger, Justin Haley, and Matt Crafton. How about Matt Crafton in the 88? Right now currently in the 6th place positions, currently staying out of trouble, and he's finding himself inside the top 10. This is definitely going to be something that Matt Crafton's definitely going to need, especially to get back up in points. But how about Luke Fenhaus already trying to at least battle along for the lead here, as he's now trying to make a move onto the bottom side, trying to get past Jonathan Nemechek for the lead. Side by side right now as they enter into the back straightaway. And it looks like we got a little bit of more lap traffic coming in. That will be Shaylee Nocetta in the 37 as they're once again 3 wide, almost 4 wide right here for the, I think for the 7th place position. No, it's for the 6th place position as Grant Infader battles along with Matt Crafton. Still a strong run though so far for this 88 of Matt Crafton, despite starting in the 18th place position. Of course, staying out of trouble today. And he's able to at least be in the top 10 as Matt Benedetto is trying to pass him for position here. Looks like they were almost 3 wide for the lead here as Luke Fenhaus continues to lead. But his teammate, Ty Majeski, trying to add his name back. He still wants to catch this lead. He is not pulled away, and he is continuing to battle with this lead here for position as we now enter in lap 27. How about this? Right now, currently in the top 5, 3 of their Thor Sport trucks is currently in the top 5, with Luke Fenhaus leading, Ty Majeski 2nd, and Ben Rhodes trying to pass Brandon Queen for the 4th place position. And how about Matt Crafton in the 88, another Thor Sport driver, 4 Thor Sport drivers currently in the top 10, as Justin Haley is trying to get past Matt Crafton, and this is for 7th. And Justin Haley trying to continue his points momentum after, of course, having a bad result at Kansas Speedway. Of course, the winner at Charlotte, as they're now approaching on lap traffic. That is Shaylee Nocetta, already with damage on that lap 12 incident. How will these guys be able to get past the 37 truck?
Well, she's not as slow as the 33 truck, so I believe they were able to get by him just fine. Looks like the 66 will, the 98, and looks like the good majority of the leaders were able to get by the 37 cleanly as the top 4 was able to pull away. How about, let's see what Ben Rhodes does here. Looks like Ben Rhodes going to do the same as well as the majority of them. I think everybody's going to be fine here. Oh, and we got more lap traffic. It's the 33 of Frankie Muniz.
Frankie Muniz
Stuck in the middle, but the leaders are able to get by as the 66 goes high, 98 goes low, and it looks like everybody this time is going to get by the 33 of Frankie Muniz this time. But how that 33 truck is still out there, I have no idea, but he is still currently running out there.
Well, James, earlier this week, I actually heard a rumor going on saying that there might be applicant a new rule regarding about that, maybe disqualifying drivers that is way too slow off the track. I'm not entirely sure when exactly, when that's going to take place. I'm not sure if it will happen at Talladega or Homestead in a couple of weeks, but I have heard rumors that there are speculations about adding a new rule to disqualify a driver for not meeting minimum speed. But meanwhile, Thor Sport Racing teammates Luke Fenhaus and Ty Majeski battling out for the lead on lap 30, coming into lap 31.
Yes, Luke Fenhaus is currently 23rd in the standings right now. It has not been a great start so far for the 66 team. But this is definitely what they're needing right now. They're leading laps, they're being in contention, they're being competitive. And if he can win this race here, that can definitely bump him up in points. But the 98 of time Majestic, his teammate, is still trying to battle alongside of him for the lead. These guys are just battling along since the restart. Side by side, once again for the lead on the back straightaway as Luke Fenhaus once again trying to get the lead back from the 98 of Ty Majeski, while Ty Majeski has been the dominant truck of the day so far. And as they come out of turn number 4, we're about to have 23 laps to go here at Chicagoland Speedway. But how about behind them, Jonathan Nemechek and Justin Haley trying to close in?
I mean, what a redemption so far for the 4 truck of Jonathan Nemechek, especially being dead last in the point standings after the Cup Series and Fast Now, and now currently 7th in the standings, and of course getting his first top 5 finish at Kansas Speedway with a 5th place finish there. And right now he's now up to 3rd place. He's actually he's gaining momentum here a little bit here, and it looks like we got some lap traffic coming into play. That will be Dawson Sutton in the 26. But now all of a sudden he's battling alongside with Luke Fenhaus for 2nd, and now he's looking for more. He's trying to get the lead from Ty Majeski.
And look what brings into the table, guys. The 13 of Jake Garcia. We talked about that. Jake Garcia had a great start, was leading the points coming into Charlotte, and as you can see, the 26 of Dawson Sutton, they are approaching on him. Are they going to be able to get past him, just like Shaylee Nocera? Are they able to get in by clean? Oh no, he's going to block the top side. That's going to help the 4 truck of Jonathan Nemechek. Oh, he goes down low now. That's going to help Luke Fenhaus at the 66.
Boy, here comes the bottom of the bottom. That's the 4 truck of Jonathan Nemechek. He's on a huge crunch by the 9 of, and he blocks the 4 truck. Now he goes back up top. Now the 9 truck's going to help the 4 truck to get by the 98 of Ty Majeski. Jonathan Nemechek now leads at Chicagoland.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, because the 9 of Grant Infeeder is now looking for 4 wide coming into turn number 4. And man, we've seen this time and time again about how many times it has not worked coming out of turn 4. I don't know how they were able to make that manage coming out of turn number 4. But look at Tim Simmons in the 97. He got a little bit of momentum there. He's trying to get back up into the top 5.
And we mentioned that Tim Simmons is currently leading the point standings over Grant Infeeder by 1 point. And right now, Grant Infeeder is currently in the lead right now, as he got a push by the 4 of Jonathan Nemechek. So if Grant Infeeder can finish ahead of Tim Simmons right where he's currently at right now, he will be the championship leader. But look what this puts into the picture. The 52 of Stewart Friesen all of a sudden is out here right now.
How about Stewart Friesen? Obviously getting that win of Bermuda Triangle 2 weeks ago. He's trying to go back to back to get his second consecutive victory. But Grant Infeeder is gone coming out of the back straightaway.
Grant Infeeder leads as we now have less than 20 laps to go. We approach another lap traffic car, and that's once again Frankie Muniz, and he's going to block the 52 of Stewart Friesen, and this is going to help out the 97, the 98, and the 99 on the top side. And we talked about the 52 of Stewart Friesen, how he just gained all of that ground to get up to the 3rd place position. Now he lost all of that as the 97, the 98, and the 99 is able to clear by, as well as the 38 of Chandler Smith.
Yeah, dude, they really got to be careful. We've seen this time and time again, almost every single race. A lot of these drivers are having a lot of trouble trying to get past these lap traffic trucks, especially about how slow they're going. So, yeah, there definitely needs to be a rule regarding about that, at least DQ them every time they go, if they're not meeting minimum speed. But here we go, guys, the battle for the lead. Jonathan Nemechek looking back at it. Here comes the 4 of Jonathan Nemechek, still trying to at least get that first exclusive win on the channel after having a very bad season in the Fast Now Cup Series. Still currently side by side, not clear yet ahead of the 9 truck of Grant Infeeder. But it looks like Nemechek's going to get the run onto the bottom. Now he takes the lead here. Nemechek now retains the lead.
And just like that, now we are all of a sudden single file here as we approach lap 39. We are closing into the closing laps of this race. And the question is, guys, will we be seeing pit stops here today?
Well, actually, if we didn't get those 2 early cautions early on, this would have been the pit road window to pit here around this time on lap 39 to lap 42. That would have been the pit road window if we didn't have those 2 cautions. So I think they're pretty much good to go on fuel, but I think the main issue will be how will tire wear play a factor.
Well, we're going to find out as we are approaching with 15 laps to go now. Here comes the 97 of Tim Simmons, still currently running in the 4th place position. Here comes Ty Majeski, the 98, making a move onto the bottom side, trying to battle Grant Infeeder for position up to 2nd place.
I'm telling you what, man, that 98 truck is fast, especially being on the pole, the dominant truck of the day, like you mentioned so far. We have not seen that truck outside of the top 10 all day today. Really, the lowest position we've seen him was really at 6th place when he got stuck in traffic. Here comes Grant Enfinger in the 9 truck. Ty Majeski looked like he was trying to make it 3 wide for the lead, but did not have any room there. Now he's trying to make it 3 wide here. That's going to help the 97 of Tim Simmons. Look at him with a huge run out of the bottom.
Tim Simmons is hungry. He is destined to get a win more than anybody here. He has not won an NR League race since December 28th of 2023 in the season opener of the DeWalt Truck Series by Jonathan M. It's been that long since he's last won a race in NR, and now he's currently running in the 2nd place position, looking to try to get position from Grant Enfinger.
And that win came at Daytona, of all places, at the DeWalt Truck Series by Jonathan M. And as we see right here, the 77 of Corey LaJoy, who we saw fell all the way back to the mid-pack after getting stuck behind lap traffic, all of a sudden find himself now into the 9th place position, back over to the top 10. But how about the 99 of Ben Rhodes, currently battling Grant Enfinger for the 4th place spot, as now the 98 of Ty Majeski back out front. The 97 now currently running in the 2nd place position, trying to tread down the lead. And my heart is pounding, guys. I'm currently on the edge of my seat just watching this as the 4th truck of John Hunter Nemechek is now trying to pass Tim Simmons for the 2nd place position. Still side by side right now currently, and looks like the 97 is going to hold him off. Not a lot of momentum held for the 4th truck of John Hunter Nemechek, going to fall back to the 3rd place position. Back at least 1.5 car lengths behind that 97 of Tim Simmons. But Grant Enfinger and the 99 of Ben Rhodes is still battling along for 4th. Enfinger and Rhodes side by side for the 4th place position, while Friesen and Fenhouse is currently side by side for the 6th place position. Now the 4 truck's trying to make another move on the 97 on the bottom side. It didn't work out last time. Will it work out this time around? I don't think so, but we got that 33 truck that they're approaching in once again. Everybody's going to go down to the bottom. Is this going to help? How about Grant Enfinger? He's going to get by. Not the 99 of Ben Rhodes or the 52 of Stewart Friesen. That's the 2nd time that we've seen Stewart Friesen get caught up in lap traffic. Looks like they're able to get by. Just fairly clean this time around, but now it's a 3-truck battle for the lead right now. These 3 trucks are under a blanket. Tim Simmons and John Hunter Nemechek is trying to tread down the 98 of Ty Majeski.
And guys, we have 10 laps to go officially now here at Chicagoland Speedway. John Hunter Nemechek still cannot make that run to get past the 97 of Tim Simmons. And with that happening, that's really going to help out the 98 of Ty Majeski. That's definitely something that he wants to see. 2 guys behind them battling out for position. But I think the 9 truck of Grant Enfinger is slowly trying to close in on this battle right here. He is slowly, rapidly approaching here, but the 66 of Luke Fenhouse all the way up into the 5th place position now.
Ooh, I believe Nemechek's probably going to get the position here. He's trying to make that move. Work once again. Still cannot make it work. This is going to help out the 9 truck of Grant Enfinger. Here he comes, coming into turn 3 and the turn 4. And Grant Enfinger's now knocking on the door for position for the 2nd place position. Now he's currently side by side with the driver who's currently behind him at 1 point in the championship standings. But the 66 of Luke Fenhouse has said, excuse me, out of the way. I want to take 3rd place away. Tim Simmons is going to drop all the way to 5th place now, as he just lost 3 positions in 2 turns.
Oh, guys, I just turned on the radio of the 97. He is reporting it to be tight all of a sudden. And that's definitely not what you want to have happening in the closing laps of this race. As we now got lap traffic once again, that's going to be Shaylee Nassetto in the 37 truck. How is this going to help out the other guys behind him? Here comes the 4 and the 66. This brings the 66 right back out of here. He comes down into the bottom. And this brings the 97 back into the hunt.
My God, they are nearly 4 wide as they exited out of turn number 2. This is incredible racing. Here comes the 97 of Tim Simmons. He wants this win badly, and he's getting a big push by the 12 of Brandon Queen. Simmons has now closed the gap as he's got a big push by the 12 of Brandon Queen. He's trying to take the lead away, but now Brandon Queen trying to make it 3 wide here. That did not work out well for the 12 of Brandon Queen as he loses a little bit of momentum here, but this is going to help out the 9 of Grant Enfinger. He's trying to battle alongside the 97 of Tim Simmons. And just a reminder, the 9 and the 97 are separated by 1 point for the championship lead, and they're currently battling out right now with each other. But the 66 of Luke Fenhouse is now leading here at Chicagoland Speedway. Oh, and there's a close call right there by the 12 and the 97 behind him. Tim Simmons is going to fall to 4th, and now we got more lap traffic. This time it's Sage Cameron in the 21.
And guys, we have reached 5 laps to go here at Chicagoland Speedway. So whatever the flag comes out next, whether it mean the yellow flag, the race will be official. Now the 66 is supplied by the 21 71. Here comes the 9 of Grant Infinger. He's going to try to steal this win away, as now the 66 is able to get by the 21. Now I think it's really going to be between the 9 and the 66, unless the 97 tries to spoil it, as it does look like the 12 is going to get stuck behind the 21, so that's going to drop him out of contention more than likely, as the 66 is still side by side with the 9.
Fernhouse had great speed coming across the stride into turn number 1. He now takes the lead right back, as the 97 is now trying to get past Grant Infinger for the second place spot and maybe for the championship lead.
Oh,
They went behind. That's good road to the 99, going back and forth and travel across the back straightaway. Multiple auto drivers getting involved, including Jegs.
Oh, and they're still wrecking.
Shaley
Shaley is involved again, including the 71 of Rajah. Oh my God! No!
More problems into turn number
What do we
3.
do?
That's Riley hurt from the 36 caught up late, and the 32 is also spinning around like a top on the back straightaway.
Matt
Crafton involved in the number 88 truck with a lot of damage. He had a great run going on.
We're done. And with 2 laps remaining, here is Chicagoland Speedway. There's going to be no overtime rules, so this race will end under caution, and looks like it's going to be Luke Frithouse as the winner of this race, but it ends in a shower of sparks.
My. And guys, what a win for the 66 of Luke Fenhouse. But this is all official. He literally battled for the lead all day today. And look at all these damaged struts that were involved in that wreck. The 71 of Rajah Karoof. His difficult season continues. But yeah, what a win for the 66 of Luke Fenhouse. 23rd in the standings coming in here. This will definitely jump him up in points. Grant Infinger, Tim Simmons is going to finish 2nd and 3rd. And I believe, with the 2 of them finishing 2 and 3, I believe this is going to tie the 9 and the 97 for the championship lead.
Wow.
But oh my goodness, guys, what a race from start to finish.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the final caution of the race, which involves the 99 of Ben Rhodes.
Oh, look to me right there. It looks like the 3 may have gotten clipped by the 98 of Ty Majeski, who was losing a lot of positions there in the late run in there. And look at everybody piling in. That 90, that 71 and the 37 came in late. And here comes everybody else. Huge shot right there for the 32. Oh, and another hard hit. That was Matt Crafton in the 88. That came flying in right. A lot of hard hits in that wreck, and definitely not the way how you want to end this race off with your truck ending up in the dumpster.
Absolutely, man. We were going so good and so long, going this long without getting into a major accident, especially in the early run. And this is how the race ends here. Another hard shot right there by the 71 and the 37. And oh man, look at all these hard hits coming in late. The 36, an innocent bystander. The 88 coming in here. That is just a shame, guys. Not the way how you want to end this race off for sure.
Whoa, and that was very close right there for the 26 of Dawson Sutton, who was trying to avoid it. And as you see, the 99 is spinning out right there. He gets in front of his teammate, Jake Garcia. Both Jake and Ben Rhodes were having great days here today, and Daniel Hemrick, who was slowly making his way back up here into the mid pack, gets tied up in this one as well. And of course, the 71 and the 37 really nowhere to go. Man, Rajah Karoof's season has not been off to a great start, and of course, Shaylee Nassetta's and our debut really ends off ugly. As look at all these hard hits right there. The 32 comes piling in, as well as the 36. And of course, Matt Crampton comes in late, but you don't see it here. There's the 88 right there. He was the one that came piling in and literally rammed the 32 near to the driver's side door. Just a wild way to end this race off.
Of course, as we look at these replays, they did cross the white flag for the final lap of the race here as we look on Jake Garcia's on board. Luke Fenhouse is going to be the winner as you see everybody piling in late, but that's not the worst part. Watch this next hit.
Oh my goodness.
And even though this is just a video game and it's not real life, it's still pretty violent to see all those hard hits coming in late, especially going about 180 miles an hour coming into that corner. But yeah, that was an extremely hard shot by the 32 of Grant Holmes coming in late. Here's Ben Rhodes on board.
Yeah, you can kind of see the 3 getting hurt right there by the 98 of Ty Majeski. I don't think that was anything intentional. It was just good, hard racing. And I'm pretty sure Cletus will understand that. But of course, here comes all the hard hits coming in late. You'll just see the big one right here as you see a good majority of these guys trying to get through it, trying to stuck it into the middle. And there's the hard shot by the 88 and really nowhere to go for the 99 as the 88 gets back in front of the 99's path. Pleasman Follow is able to get by without a scratch, and I think he's going to unofficially round up in 9th after today's race.
Ben Rhodes was able to continue to drive away after the accident. I think unofficially he's going to round up
in the 18th place position after a strong run that he had going on. With all of these hard hits coming in late, including the 32 and the 36. The 13 obviously with a lot of damage. There's not going to be a lot of drivers here that's going to make it to the end of this one. But of course, as you mentioned, Tim James, we were watching these replays, and it did cross the white flag, so they are coming out of turn number 4 right now. And of course, as we mentioned, Luke Fenhouse has had a strong truck today. He started 4th in today's event, has been strong all day in contention for a good majority of the race. He led 13 laps, and he's going to lead the most important one. Luke Fenhouse across the stripe. He wins under caution. Here is Chicagoland Speedway. Luke Fenhouse, the winner of the Jegs 200.
Right now, unofficially, with this win, Luke Fenhouse entered a jump from 23rd to 18th in the standings. Even though it's not a huge jump boost, that's definitely a turnaround for the 66 team for Luke Fenhouse. And of course, Grant Enfinger comes home in the 2nd place position. Tim Simmons for the 2nd race in a row, so to come home in the 3rd place position. Brandon Queen comes home 4th. John and Nemechek in 5th. Corey LaJoy rounds up in the 6th place position. A major turnaround for Corey LaJoy, especially losing a lot of positions in the early run in here. But what a day for the 66 of Luke Fenhouse. 14 laps led the most important one, who was right there at the end when the caution came out, and he comes home as the winner here at the Jegs 200. And in the first 5 races, 5 different winners so far.
And it's just like in the Fast No Cup Series, the first 5 races we had 5 different winners, and now in the DeWalt Truck Series, in the first 5 races we'd had 5 different winners, so history has definitely repeated itself here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. Here is your unofficial results. Of course, Stewart Friesen, how about that, comes home in the 7th place position. Cletus McFarland does round up into the 9th place position. Tough breaks for the 98 of Ty Majeski, who led the most laps at 23, fell all the way back into the 10th place position after losing a lot of spots early on there at the end. But how about Tim Simmons in the 97? This is his 3rd consecutive top 3 here in the series right now. He has been on a hot streak so far, and I think with Grant Enfinger also coming home in 2nd place, Grant Enfinger and Tim Simmons is going to be tied for the championship points lead heading into Talladega, so that's going to be very interesting to see coming into 2 weeks.
How about Andres Perez in the 44 from 22nd to 11th? A good day for Andres Perez, especially with the first half of the season that he had, including Canyon Honeycutt. And Bubba Wallace in the number 10 truck comes home 15th. Haven't really been able to talk about him at all today, but the 76 of Spencer, there's a lot of drivers here that had great days today. How about Tony Breininger coming home in the 19th place position after starting last in today's event?
Stayed out of trouble. I mean, that's pretty much all I gotta say. If you stayed out of trouble, that's what's gonna happen. And what a great performance by Tony Breininger, even though we haven't talked about her all day. She stayed out of trouble and she comes home with the top 20.
This will definitely help out Tony Breininger in points, especially being dead last. And with her coming home 19th, it's definitely going to help her out in points for sure. It may not be a huge jump boost, but it will definitely jump up a little bit in points since she will no longer be dead last. 24 cars were able to finish in this race. As you see below that, you just see the drivers that were involved in that lap 51 incident, including the 32, the 36, the 13, the 88, and the 71. Matt Crafton had a great day going on. I thought he was going to have a clean finish and probably finish in the top 10, but of course he was involved in that accident. Matt Crafton has had a struggling season so far, and it continues to get worse and worse for that 88 team.
And as well as the 71 of Rajat Karif, not a great day for him either. Another terrible result for that 71 of Rajat Karif. This will definitely drop both of those drivers down in the points, and potentially maybe even Chandler Smith, Jake Garcia, and Riley Herbst. They did not have great days here today. Even though they were trying to stay out of trouble, they were involved in that lap 51 incident. That's definitely not how you want to end this race up, especially not be able to finish on the pace laps within the final 2 laps.
And of course, the rest of the drivers on your screen were all involved in accidents, either from the lap 7 incident or the lap 13 incident. And of course, Shailene Narcetta and Frankie Muniz involved in that lap 51 incident. Very tough result for Narcetta, getting involved in 2 accidents in her NR lead debut today. Definitely not what the 37 team needed, especially with Ashley Caboose being out. Definitely not a great result for Lane Ritz and Coy Hine. That's definitely not what they wanted, especially being in the top 10 in points. This is definitely going to drop them down significantly in points, including the 18 of Tyler Ankrum and the 15 of Tanner Gray. And of course, Sammy Smith only ran 7 laps before his race abruptly came to an end, being involved in that early incident on the first caution. And that's definitely not the way how Sammy Smith wanted to start things out, taking over for Jake Taylor's. But yeah, a lot of rough results and a lot of tough breaks for a lot of these drivers at the end of this race.
And guys, look at the standings. As you can see right here, yeah, of course, Grant Enfinger and Tim Simmons were going to be tied for the championship lead exiting out of Chicagoland Speedway. This is going to be something to watch out for because we're moving on to Talladega Super Speedway next. But as you would expect, a lot of changes here in the points with a lot of drivers dropping a ton, especially Corey Heim and Lane Ridge, dropping from the top 10 to 14th and 16th. Yikes.
Yeah, even though there was a lot of big namers that dropped significantly in points, this did have about one particular driver here tonight, and she didn't even race here. Look right here, Ashley Caboose, who is listed on the point standings, moves up from 19th to 11th in the standings. Just one race, and all of a sudden, she finds herself 11th in the standings.
Well, how about that for the 37 team, despite Shaylee Nocetta coming home in 32nd, a sour result in her NR debut today, taking over for Caboose.
And if you look real close, she's actually 1 point behind the top 10, so I guess missing one race, you can get lucky sometimes. Yeah, but of course, the main battle here is between Grant Enfinger and Tim Simmons being tied, while John Nemechek currently sits in 3rd in the standings now, moving up from 7th to 3rd. Now he's 10 points behind the championship leader, so it's definitely going to be an interesting battle as we move on to Talladega Super Speedway next, and this will be for the Love's RV Stop 250 that will take place on July 11th, 2026 at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah, I am definitely pumped up for that, especially with the rumor that you said was going around with the double file restarts. I believe they are estimating to have double restarts at Talladega. So, moving on to Talladega, and for the first time seeing double file restarts, that's really going to play a lot of, that's going to be a real key to a lot of these drivers. It's really going to be a different game plan for a lot of these guys, because all the races that we've had all had single file restarts. So Talladega having a double file restart coming in here in 2 weeks, it's definitely going to be interesting to see, and that's really going to play a huge factor for a lot of these drivers as we move on to Talladega in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and although we have a little bit of wait for the 6th race of the DeWalt Truck Series, we still got a race next week, and that would be for the 2026 Fastnail Cup Series Turning Point USA All-American Race that will take place on July 4th, 2026 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time at Nashville Super Speedway. This is definitely going to be an exciting event for all of us on the channel for America's 250th birthday. Definitely stoked to see that happening next Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time at Nashville Super Speedway, and I hope the fans are too, because it's definitely going to be a special event coming over to next week. Absolutely, I've been looking forward to this race since the day that they announced it on this channel, and it's definitely going to be an emotional weekend for sure, not only celebrating 250 years of American freedom, but also 94 laps that we're going to be racing there at Nashville Super Speedway. This is expected to be the longest race on the channel, so I hope all the fans are looking forward to it, because I am definitely for sure, and I can't wait to see how that race is going to turn out.
Absolutely. Well, this is going to conclude our coverage here at Chicagoland Speedway. Thank you all so much for tuning in into the broadcast. Congratulations to Luke Fenhouse for getting the victory here at Chicagoland Speedway. We will see you guys next Saturday on July 4th, 2026 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Fast Now Cup Series 30 Point USA All-American Race at Nashville Super Speedway. And then after that, next Saturday, it will be the Love's RV Stop 250 at Talladega Super Speedway for race number 6 of the NASCAR DeWalt Truck Series. So a lot of exciting stuff that is going to be taking place here these next 3 weeks, and I hope you guys are looking forward to that. So that's going to conclude our coverage here today. We'll see you guys next Saturday at Nashville Super Speedway. Until then, so long here from Chicagoland Speedway. My name is James Simmons. I'm of course for Tim James and Jimothy Jameson. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you guys on July 4th for the Fast Now Cup Series Turning Point USA All-American Race at Nashville Super Speedway.